Something like that. Then it elevates karaoke to legitimacy.
What I'm trying to sell to them, and you guys are very interested, is because of this promo, this video that we're going to do, this reality that we're going to do. I want it reality. I want to go to every.
Check, test. 1, 2, 3, 4.
David, listen to David. Can you listen to live stream? Yes, I can. Make sure you hear.
Welcome to Karaoke Summit 15. I'm Drax, the president of the American Disc Jockey Association and American Karaoke host. I'm going to take a few minutes to share my thoughts about the state of the industry. I'd like to make an appeal out to all the karaoke hosts and karaoke venues that are watching this. Do you want an industry? Because if you do, I think there's some fundamental changes that have to take place. Over the last year or so, I've watched as hosts and venues have argued with each other over intellectual property rights and who has rights and who doesn't have rights. And I'm here to tell you, we have a simple decision to make. Do we want an industry? Yes or no? Here's the bottom line. If labels and songwriters don't get rightfully compensated, karaoke will die. If companies such as Sound Choice, Phoenix Entertainment Partners, and DigiTrax Entertainment, our two largest American manufacturers, if they cannot produce fresh new content and do so profitably, they die. And then we run into the situation of the industry's dead. It simply fades away because there's no way that people are going to want to sing, play that funky music, white boy, 10 years from now. We have to have fresh content. We have to show the music industry, because we're a part of the music industry. Instead of being the bastard stepchild, we need to step up. We need to show those that produce the content that we use to generate revenue that they're worthy of being properly recognized and compensated. We need to demonstrate that the companies willing to put their capital at risk to produce new content are also protected and properly compensated so that we have an endless stream of new content. How do we do that, you might ask? One, we run completely legal, legitimate karaoke shows. We don't download songs off YouTube. We don't get them off torrents. We don't do anything which damages the brand of our industry. The karaoke industry can only survive when we show consumers that there is a chain of authority, that yes, just because it's on YouTube doesn't mean a legal karaoke host can utilize that content because he has respect for his industry and for his peers, the artists and songwriters which craft the incredible songs we get to use in our karaoke shows. The next thing we have to do is we have to support the concepts that the companies that operate legitimately are made to be such profitably. They need to be able to stay in business. If we don't do what it takes as hosts and venues, then they fail, and then we're back with no content. Venues. It's time venues stopped using bootleg karaoke. It's time they stopped using discount bootleg karaoke hosts. Frankly, if your host cannot prove that they have a legal, legitimate karaoke library, you're risking your own business, and you're damaging the opportunity for karaoke to bring great revenue to your source, to your venue. So what do we need to do? We need to support the concept that a songwriter has the right to request their content be on a no-fly list, if you will. And we need to respect that and let consumers know that Adele or whoever the various artists are that don't wish their stuff made into karaoke, that we don't. We don't skirt the law on that. And here's why. Because when songwriters and artists and labels see us as legitimate, thoughtful, lawful, ethical people, they will then respond in kind, and they will want to license their content. They will want to make it available because they know how great it is when the fans of an artist or of a song can sing it from all their friends and sing their heart out. That's a fan connection that they want. They want that fan connection, and that's only going to happen with great karaoke. Yes, everybody can sing I Set Fire to the Rain in their bathroom, but it's nothing like singing it with all your friends. But we've got to do the right things to make artists that currently want their materials restricted want to have it out there, want to have it done in karaoke because it's done very well by very good companies that produce very good production. That was one of the things that really damaged karaoke initially, is a lot of companies came on the market and produced really substandard audio. So songwriters and artists didn't want it because it reflected poorly on their original art. So what I'm asking for every karaoke host, only use legitimate karaoke content from legitimate manufacturers that are fully licensed to deliver that content. Then I'm going to ask you to join and be a part of American Karaoke Host. If you're a DJ that does karaoke, you can join the ADJA and you'll automatically be made a part of the American Karaoke Host website and association. And here's the reason for that. There are some things we need to change in terms of structures, licensing, and legalities. The only way that's going to happen is when we can stand with one voice, one united voice, to raise our concerns. That won't happen when we all sit back and say, I'll join if, I'll join when, I'll be legal when, I'll do this when. We have to say, now is the time. We are the people to legitimize karaoke. And right here in Knoxville, at this studio today, at Karaoke Summit 15, is where we make the change. Are you ready for a legitimate industry? Are you ready to be respected? Are you ready to be compensated appropriately for the talent which you can bring to the karaoke space? If you are, we're making a call as the American Karaoke Association, as Phoenix Entertainment Partners, DigiTrax Entertainment, and all of the other people involved in the karaoke industry and in the music industry itself. It's interesting, we're just a couple hours from Nashville, Music City, USA. More great hits, rock and country, have been started in Nashville. We're in the heart of music today to make a fundamental change that will impact people's lives forever. I've talked to a lot of karaoke hosts that are afraid that the karaoke company they've built will not be able to be passed on to their children because of the tenuous nature that things have become. I'm here to tell you, now's the time. If we want that future for karaoke, we've got to be willing to stand up, be counted, be a soldier of good, be one that says, I will, by my own volition, only source legitimate karaoke. I won't feel compelled to take some song from YouTube because Lord knows I don't want to disappoint a singer. Rather, we need to educate the singers that come to our venues of the importance of properly supporting content creators. And that has to come from us. We're the frontline soldiers to fight that education battle. But American Karaoke Host will be able to help do that and do it to a larger extent once our membership grows to the level it needs to be to properly take this into the consumer space. So now what I'm asking for you to consider, only using legal karaoke. Support the artists and writers who have lawfully requested their songs not be made in karaoke. Support the companies that are manufacturing and producing great content, current content, in the industry today. The time for bickering and argument and disputation is over. Because if we do, we will simply wrest it to the destruction of karaoke. And it'll be like an old soldier. They don't die, they just fade away. Is that what we want for our industry? I say no. But to do it, we have to stop calling this guy a bad guy, this guy a bad guy, this person wrong, this company wrong. These wealthy labels, they're just doing X, Y, or Z. We need to come to the conclusion that the current laws in the United States have defined the space in which we operate. When we join together, we can affect change in those areas. But until then, we need to demonstrate that we are the good stewards of their art, that we are the respectful stewards of their art, and that we create opportunities for fan engagement like they have never seen or experienced. We can only do it when we can do it lawfully, respectfully, and with credibility. Being a certified karaoke host, having a library that you can tell a venue, this is certified. We're setting up the vehicles so they can go to several different websites, validate that a host is certified, that they have a legitimate source. We're setting up places for consumers to be able to know that there is a legal venue, because that's their end goal, is to educate consumers that they want to support the venues that are also supporting artists. Not the guys that are just trying to get by doing karaoke on the cheap, but rather the companies, the venues, that are looking to properly recognize artists. Because without artists and songwriters, everything about music goes away. So with that, will you join us today? We're thrilled that you've tuned into this summit. We've got a great outline over the next couple of hours of great content and great opinions and speakers. I'd like to wrap in conclusion with sharing with you the importance that karaoke can be in the life of every single person. We can make a huge difference. To do that, I'd like to bring in my good friend, the CEO of DigiTrax Entertainment, Joe Vangieri, to talk about some cool new things.
Thank you, Drax.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you, sir. Very eloquent introduction and points made. We're here for expansion. We're here to grow the industry. DigiTrax Entertainment started 3 years ago. I came up here to Knoxville, Tennessee from Tampa. We took over a previous catalog and made it a digital label. Karaoke Cloud was launched, and I'm very proud to say our new Karaoke Cloud consumer site, you could go to it. It's absolutely fabulous. The team that did it over at VHX knocked it out of the park for us, and we're really happy with that consumer site. Our Karaoke Cloud Pro now, we're making some new additions. We now have HD files, and from a lot of the forums, we're getting a lot of really good feedback. Right now, we have them with motion graphics, and yes, for you people who want them with the black, we do provide the EULA to show you it's for professional use. We are giving you detailed receipts now, so you can really prove that you own these files, and you'll have the ability to re-download the file, provided the song is still available at that time legally, and you've lost it. So I wanted to handle those things up front, but if you can go to karaokecloud.net, you'll really see what's going on. Like I said earlier, 3 years ago I came here and we started the company, and we've been an active participant in the local government here, and we run a program called Launch Tennessee. And Launch Tennessee, you're going to hear about that today a few times. It's an entrepreneurial incubator, and it's courses that the local government, working with the City of Knoxville and cooperation with the Chamber of Commerce and Launch Tennessee, in a private-public partnership, are offering these new and great courses for us. So always be learning, right, to increase your business. And some fabulous things like business model canvases and value proposition designs. And it's really exciting for us as business people and entrepreneurs to really take advantage of these new learning techniques, right? So we can increase our businesses. And like Drax just said previously, we want to grow this industry. We want to really create an industry. We're here in Knoxville, Tennessee, in South Knoxville. We call it SoNox Studios. And locally, there's a thing called Brand Aid, where they're going to offer $40,000 in brand exposure. So we put in for that. But I want to show this video for you because it really shows off our studio and what DigiTrax really means. So, Todd, if we can cut to the videotape, I'd love to see it. Hey, Chris, are we ready?
We're rolling.
Hello, I'm Joe Vangieri, CEO of DigiTrax Entertainment. We want to tell you all about our company.
DigiTrax Entertainment began 3 years ago right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Since our start, we have cultivated our business and have endured the growing pains of bringing a startup to viability. We currently run a popular Vivo channel for karaoke music on YouTube and have branched out from the free ad-supported model to a new subscription platform, which is where Brand Aid comes in. We have proven our success with our Karaoke on Vivo channel, garnering over 500,000 subscribers and millions of video views. The next step in maintaining our business is to grow the user base in our new subscription-backed website, KaraokeCloud.com. We have worked studiously with various programs and organizations in the state, including the Knoxville Entrepreneur Center, where our CEO is a lead mentor for their Media Works program. It is our mission to give back to the city that has selflessly supported us time and time again. Here's a closer look at who we are and what we do.
Hi, my name is Trisha, and I am the office manager here at DigiTrax Entertainment. and I've had the pleasure of overseeing our intern program. We have internships for audio engineers, music licensing, and animation, and I have found incredibly talented interns that we bring right here to Knoxville to learn in our studios.
My name's Tim High. I'm originally from Goodview, Virginia. I started out as an intern here at DigiTrax, and through time and training and getting more experience, I've become lead audio engineer of Sonox Studios, which is a branch of DigiTrax.
So I moved here to Knoxville, Tennessee in October of last year to pursue an internship here at DigiTrax. I moved from El Paso, Texas. I completed my 90-day, 3-month internship program. As soon as I had finished, I extended a job offer to me to be a full-time engineer here at DigiTrax.
We've really put together a lot of amazing products. Everything that we build, we handcraft it. And we pay so much attention to detail and so much attention to quality. Now we have these great works. We need to make these great works known. That's why we need Brand Aid Sale.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. DigiTrax Entertainment is en route to become the United States' largest karaoke company. We want you to help us get there. Thank you.
Brand Aid, we need your help! I did it wrong.
Thank you for watching that video. It means a lot to me. It really shows off our company and what we've been doing for the greater good. Today's show is absolutely stellar, though. First of all, Drax as our MC. He's the CEO of the American Disc Jockey Association. Joe Galante is going to be up, and Joe is former chairman Sony Music and BMG Music Group Nashville. And Joe's a who's who and an unbelievable human being. I mean, you'll see his talk. Felicia Roberts, she works here, aka Tony. A lot of you may know her as Tony, but her name is really Felicia. And she's the director of licensing here at DigiTrax Entertainment, and she's going to walk us through how to license a song. Joy O'Shell's here. She's the director of outreach and marketing for the Knoxville Entrepreneur Center. We have Stuart McWhorter. He's the CEO of the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. Shawn Yeager is the program director of the Porch Group. Danny Lewis, he's the owner of Tsunami Entertainment. We're going to have a live panel discussion moderated by Dr. Drax. We'll have Hal Kenny here from Good Sounds Entertainment. Catt Damon, he's the executive VP of talent and in-venue entertainment for High Volume Meter, the makers of KaraoQ. We'll have Joanie Lilly. She's the president of Joanie Karaoke out of Pittsburgh. Alan McDonald is here. We're really excited about that as well. Alan's the executive director of Talent Quest. It's a national karaoke contest. Kurt Slep, the founder and CEO of Phoenix Entertainment Partners. Heather McBee, she's the program director from Project Music. Adam Zink, the director of digital marketing from Warner Nashville. Shawn Yeager, Michael Ambergy. So now Michael's going to come out. Michael we met through the Launch Tennessee initiative, and this company really shows a lot of promise. We're really excited. We're getting behind KaraoQ. We really think it's going to change the industry. We've got some great specials on the website. So we've got a 20% discount if you buy during the show. Shameless plug. But hey, we've got these great HD files, and I think you're going to love them. Go to the site, karaokecloud.net. And now, let's switch the camera over to Joe Galante back at the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. Take it away, Joe.
So KaraoQ specifically, we're here talking about karaoke today. What does a company like KaraoQ bring to the music industry?
Well, I think a couple of things. First of all, the model, set aside the model on how it stands alone for the karaoke industry on its own. I think there are two vital roles it plays. One is the opportunity for new music to be exposed. Mm-hmm. And so, and exposed quickly because, and I'll harken back to a term that most people in the audience have heard at some point, it's called a jukebox. But at one point, what the music business was about was going out and you would go to the jukebox business and you would incentivize them to put new artists in those boxes because people would come in from all around the country when they went into truck stops or diners and they would hit and go, oh, I have never heard of this. And all of a sudden you start to see records pop up. So now we have a thing called the internet that actually allows us to do that. But back then, that was the early forerunner in my mind. So again, coming back to today, you have the opportunity to get music in front of a clientele that is willing to spread the word very quickly. That's the first part. The second part is you can go back through and, for instance, if a company is going to have a catalog edition on Kenny Chesney. And Kenny is one of the artists that KaraoQ has said that, we get a lot of requests for. Well, then you can incentivize them again and work on a promotion together where you can build a promotion around the catalog, and again, reaching it in a different way than you normally do, which is through radio, which is inefficient beyond belief because you can't target that audience in any way, shape, or form. But people that will come out and party and hear those songs will go, you know what? I really like this. I need to own this. And so, or own some of it. So I think that gives us the opportunity. The music business also benefits from, and we're still in the infancy in terms of the company with this, but the idea that we could take brands that we have and that are involved with artists and tie back in to the opportunity with KaraoQ.
Using Kenny as an example again.
So I think there are 3 opportunities aside from the core business. I mean, the core business has to stand on its own, but for the music business, I think there are 3 distinct opportunities. In terms of just day to day with the problems they have, it's a myriad of issues, and it's there are the good moments and then there's the normal day. And I think hearing the excitement, because Michael was constantly birthing a baby and the excitement of raising this kid, I think it is infectious, and it's a good thing to hear, because the great thing about anybody that's in this program is they don't have the barriers that these other companies have. There are too many rules and regulations, and it's not regulations, it's really just, you can't do that because. And the good news coming in here is that the first time I heard about karaoke in the marketplace was through Michael. So the understanding of how big the marketplace and the opportunities, people learn, and it's another route of exposure as opposed to knocking your head against the wall with the same channels that we traditionally go down. The industry is under fire, and a lot of it's its own fault. At the same time, you go through, and the licensing process on copyright is extremely difficult, and the rights providers and the flow of funds is very difficult. Even for someone that's been in the business a long time, you sit there and go, holy good God, and nobody's got solutions because they're in this bubble. And so trying to spend the time to look out is difficult because you're still dealing with day to day, and I go around in circles about this argument. So having people come in with a fresh set of eyes, and it may not solve the copyright issue, but it solves the problem in terms of revenue streams they haven't thought of. Correct. And if that takes us down a path of innovation, then that's the way to go. Something else may come out of it.
Wow, that was an incredible segment. So much information in such a short period of time. I'd like to now switch gears a little bit, and I'd like to introduce Felicia Roberts. She's the Director of Licensing here at DigiTrax Entertainment. She's going to share a bit more with us so we all learn the hows and wheres and how licensing really works. Felicia?
Thank you. Hi, my name is Felicia, and I work here at DigiTrax. Today I've been asked to speak to you about the process for determining how we come up with the new release titles and how we go about clearing the publishing for them. The process starts with chart research. Every other week we go ahead and pull the Billboard Song Index, which is a compilation of the top 300 songs from all of the charts. We're also, in addition to always doing that, we're always looking for announcements from major record labels and industry professionals on new releases that are being made available. Once we have the prospective titles in hand, then we're able to put them into our production queue so that we can begin research on them. All of the data is logged, so that way we can ensure that we're not investing in additional time, research time, into songs that we can't use for karaoke. Once the prospects are identified, we then begin the song research. We scour all of the PRO sites and all of the HFA sites just so that we can find all of the detailed data. That includes the songwriters, all of the publishers, and all of the shares that go along with that. But not all of these sites are kept up to date, or at least not based on the chart research. So oftentimes we have to continually go back and research this data until it becomes available or until it's no longer applicable. Oftentimes the data hasn't been linked when we do find it, so those sites may not still result all of the complete information that we need before we can request the song. The next hurdle is that all of this data is entered by different people. all into different resources. So sometimes the song titles or the writers may have completely different names other than what we've been given. It might be under a different alias. One song might show that it has 5 writers, and the other one might show, another site might show that that song only has 3 writers. One might reference certain publishers, and the other one might be completely different. You get the gist. Sometimes when all the research is complete, and we found all the data and we think we're doing really good, we send it away for approval, and the approval comes back with, this is no longer ours, so we don't know where you go to look for it, and that information obviously is not up to date in the resources, so that process then comes to a dead end. The next step, once we've compiled all of that data, is to clear the songs. Most publishers do not issue a blanket license for a song, so that means that it's done on a one-by-one basis. We strive to have all of the data, like I said earlier, all the data that we combined to the publisher so that when we send it to them, if anything's off or incorrect, they can adjust it when they return it back to us. Sometimes we get a yes from one publisher and a no from another publisher. Sometimes it's just a pending that we never hear back from. Sometimes we get a note back that says that this song is on the chart right now, but could we maybe revisit this approval in the fall? And at that point, we have to still go by that. So we just put a note on it and come back to it at a later time. Basically, the publishers are so overwhelmed with maintaining their databases that it often takes weeks to hear back on a song batch that we submit. And also, oftentimes we don't hear back on songs at all. Some publishers actually provide us with a list. So we will go through that material, but they only provide us with the information that's provided for their specific share of that specific song. So when we have that information, we basically start back over in the research queue and have to go in and find all of the other information. The time involved in this process often takes time longer than the song's ability to remain on the chart. And thus it's no longer relevant depending on how long it takes. Although the system for obtaining sync licenses might appear not to be broken for film and television, the opposite remains true with regards to karaoke. Unfortunately, those releases as dependent on chart-driven songs, unfortunately, those releases are dependent on chart-driven songs. As you know, when you want to sing a karaoke song, you want to sing it right now as you're hearing it on the chart. In conclusion, we feel that the industry as a whole would benefit from a unified database. Having a streamlined system in place for clearing songs for karaoke use would benefit the industry as a whole, as more new releases would be available in a timelier manner than while the popularity of the song still remains strong. That's it. Thank you.
Felicia, thank you. That was amazing. I tell you, that was a lot to learn. It's a lot more complex than we perhaps have thought as karaoke hosts of what's involved with our manufacturers to actually get permission to create that. Our next presenter is Joy O'Shell, the Director of Outreach and Marketing for the Knoxville Entrepreneur Center. She's going to tell us a bit more about what they're doing and how it relates to our program today. Joy, nice to meet you.
Great to meet you too, Dr. Drax.
Take it away.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much to the Karaoke Summit for, one, being in Knoxville today, and two, for having such great presenters, but also three, having such incredible staff out there. So in front of me, there are legions of people who are trying to bring you incredible information, and I hope I can add to that conversation a little bit. So for background, I'm going to come at this from a little different perspective. I am from Knoxville area, rural originally, but I moved away 17 years ago. And now I'm going to fast forward to say I was living in New York City and trying to move back home when I first Googled music companies in Knoxville, and the first search result that I got was Sonox Studios. So I cold called Joe Vangieri, sitting in New York, and I just asked him, what is happening in Knoxville? And oh my goodness, he told me everything and more that I could have expected. So I'm representing Knoxville Entrepreneur Center today, and this is our background. Thank you, Tony, for speaking in front of the MediaWorks background. But I'm going to speak to you today from a person who's been in the music industry for the past 17 years, doing digital licensing especially. Before I moved back home, I was in electronic dance music. And if there is a kindred spirit to the karaoke business, I hope you will look at DJs and electronic dance music and what's happening with that area. I don't have a background in dance music, and I didn't have a background in karaoke. I sang my first karaoke song just a couple of weeks ago after our MediaWorks class ended, and it was with Michael from KaraoQ. And you're going to hear about those guys later on. It's amazing what they're up to. So first of all, I just want to say thank you, and two, I want to give you all some encouragement, because from the electronic dance music perspective, licensing, and I'm so glad Tony spoke first, because it's challenging to talk about legal and licensing stuff right away. It's more fun to talk about the fun parts of the business. But as Dr. Drax mentioned, it sounds like the karaoke industry needs what was happening in electronic dance music, which is people started banding together. And if you look at what happened with dance music, I was working at Porch specifically, you saw DJs banding together with retailers, banding together with tech makers, banding together with labels, artists, publishers. It takes a village to legally license the amazing quality content that each one of you is creating and performing as part of your businesses. Knoxville Entrepreneur Center is based in Knoxville, but we are part of a network across the entire state of Tennessee. Tennessee is a music state. We grow it here. It's in the water, it's in the mountains, it's inescapable, it's what we do, we create content. Before I was at Beatport, I was at Amazon doing music licensing, I was at AOL doing radio licensing, and I have to say that always at the top of our chart was karaoke content. The customers want karaoke content, but trust me, I know how challenging it is to license it and to make incredibly quality music. So I want to encourage you that what you are experiencing right now today is a trend that's happening throughout the state and also across our industry, that we are getting together, we're sharing information, we're helping grow the business, because there are people like me that still haven't done karaoke, but then there are people all over the world who love it, and it's an incredible, valuable business. I think there's been some hesitation in the past few years for investors to invest in music in general, because it's challenging. The licensing and the legal side of it is expensive to maintain. The databases that you need, the infrastructure, it's not easy. But I can only look at dance music, which I was in for 3 years doing their licensing and legal affairs, and I can tell you that it's happening and it's doable. And it can happen for karaoke too. The challenge is talking about it and getting together and having these summits. So the way we're doing it here locally is we're banding together through our local entrepreneur center. In whatever state you might be in, you will hopefully have a community resource that supports small businesses, or at your community colleges or at your universities. Find them, because they are part of a broader network, a broader base of people who are trying to bring the music industry back out of the digital slump that started, and it's working. It's working. But it only works if we all talk together, meet together, gotta have FaceTime. It's so important. The most important thing I learned about the relationships in dance music was getting together and maintaining them. Sometimes email's not enough, you gotta pick up the phone. So I just wanna encourage you, I'm not sure where you're all based and from, but each one of you is a business. Each one of you is an entrepreneur. Each one of you has incredible content to share. And we want you to do it. And we want you to invest in it. And we want to grow the pie globally, because it's already happening. But it has to happen at the community level first, and then at the state. So I want to talk a little bit about our incredible sponsors that support the program that we have at KEC called MediaWorks. I wasn't familiar with MediaWorks. When I was trying to move back home, I was talking to Joe Vangieri, and he introduced me to someone named Jonathan Sexton. And so I'm learning it's about meeting the people who are on the ground, trying to make it happen in your local community. Jonathan is the entrepreneur in residence at the Knoxville Entrepreneur Center, KEC for short. It's only about 2 years old, and what we found is so many of the people walking through the door said they have incredible passion and drive to create music, but one, they don't know how to make their idea into a business, and two, they don't have the funding, and three, they're not sure about the licensing. So MediaWorks was born to support the legions of creatives that are in our state, that are in our city alone. And this is our second year, and we're already planning for next year. It's been an incredible success. And it brings people like the Vangieris, who also have other ideas. Kathy Vangieri is in Nashville right now, talking about Sing and Spell. That is a MediaWorks company too. So what we're able to do is if we communicate and talk to each other, then we work through our entrepreneur centers. We're sponsored by Launch Tennessee, which is the umbrella company, well, federal entity for where we get a lot of our funding. These are grant funding. It's not forever, and so we have to use this time to not be a startup and then create a viable business out of the entrepreneur program itself. And I think Shawn Yeager is going to speak about that a little bit later. We'll have folks from the Nashville Entrepreneur Center talk about how they're doing it. But I just want to encourage you that what you're doing in karaoke is the future. It's the future of entrepreneurship, and it's the future of music. And when I was standing at the events for electronic dance music, and I saw the DJ pick up the mic and start singing into it, and I see lyrics, that is karaoke. It's evolving, and we have to evolve with it. We have to pay attention to when giant platforms like YouTube start publishing lyrics. When Joe was describing Karaoke Cloud and some of his other services, the thought that went through my mind was, oh my goodness, how is he going to license all of this? It's hard, but it's doable. And the way to do it is, one, to have the connections, two, to maintain the relationships, but three, maybe you have to write a giant check at some point. So where are you going to get it? We highly recommend working through your local entrepreneur center, going through the programs. We call them an accelerator because it's designed to accelerate your business from startup to real business. Or if you're in business and you want to change, we can help you do that too. So just wanted to thank Joe and everyone at Sonox for letting us talk during the Karaoke Summit about what's happening in Knoxville. We think it's a model across the state. We work closely with the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. We share resources, we share information. The same thing is happening in Memphis, it's happening in Chattanooga, it's happening in Northeast Tennessee, in Kingsport and Johnson City. So if we can recommend anything to you, it's look at your local resources, band together, go to the events like the Karaoke Summit, talk openly, meet frequently with the publishers. That became my full-time job. I started as legal affairs in general, and eventually my full-time job was just doing publishing. So I know the amount of work that's required, but I also know it's doable because we did it. And if we can do it in electronic dance music, you guys are ahead of the curve for doing it in karaoke. So with that, I'm going to hand over the mic and to thank you all again and encourage you and remind you that each of you is a business. This is a viable business, but you have to talk and you have to work together and you have to work with state or whoever resources are right in your own backyard. Grow where you're planted, grow internationally, but start right now. Thanks.
All right, so welcome back. We're having too much fun here at the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. Joining us now is Stuart McWhorter, and kind of have to behave in this one because he's kind of my boss. I think that's how the org chart works. So thank you, Stuart, for taking time to sit with us today during the 2015 Karaoke Summit. Let's just kick it off. Tell us about your background, what you do here at the EC, aside from telling me what to do.
Yeah, no, I don't have to tell you what to do. So yeah, I'm the CEO here at the Entrepreneur Center. Been here 6 months and taking on a great, I've learned a lot in 6 months, but the Entrepreneur Center is a public-private partnership with the city of Nashville. We're a 501c3 and really set up to help entrepreneurs connect really with all the critical resources, not only here in the four walls of what we do at the Entrepreneur Center, but in the city as well, because there's a lot of other really good things going on, and we want to make sure that we're helping facilitate that with entrepreneurs that really want to start a business and grow their business into something successful.
Yeah, and it's not just here in Nashville proper, right? We've got some outreach into some of the surrounding counties. I know you've been instrumental in that. So just moving on a little bit, we're here specifically talking about KaraoQ and what they've been part of, which was Project Music. But obviously Nashville's got a lot more industry in it aside from just music. Music's what we're known for, Music City, USA.
It's brought a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. Not that it was lacking before, but it's a different energy and a different enthusiasm to the building. And certainly this last Project Music team, all of the companies, what I found is the high degree of community that existed with the team. Not only were they trying to build their own business, but they were building each other. And that's what I really liked about it. I don't think I've seen it even before I arrived as the CEO. I was involved on the sidelines, and I don't know if I saw quite the connection that occurred with the Project Music as I have in the other cohorts. And I think that's what's exciting for me and looking forward, particularly with Project Music, because it is different, it's new, very unique, obviously, not only just for Nashville, but across America. Right. So what they're doing is revolutionizing this niche and doing it in a very creative, innovative way. And watching them coming in when they first started to where they ended and where they are today, it may be one of the companies that really transformed, and you saw a lot of pivoting along the way and really grit. I mean, I don't know if grit's the right word, but
I think it's a good word.
I mean, and that's what it takes. I mean, that's why you go through Project Music. You come in with what you think it ought to be. You pivot along the way. You build around it. You get good insights. And even when you graduate, you're still not. You're just beginning. Yeah. And I think what I've seen so far with KaraoQ is they ended somewhere different than when they started, but even today they're different when they ended out of when they graduated, and in a good way. They're improving upon what they're learning in the marketplace through their customers, through their experiences with their customers, and so that's what I'm really happy about for them.
Hey, we are back here at the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. This one is not live, however, but I am sitting with Shawn Yeager at Porch Group. Shawn, tell the people here at the Nashville Entrepreneur Center and Knoxville Entrepreneur Center as part of Karaoke Summit a little bit about yourself and about your company, Porch Group.
Sure. Thanks, Michael. So my background is a range of music, technology, business development, startups to Microsoft and Accenture, so big to small. And just under 3 years ago, my partners and I founded Porch Group here in Nashville. We are venture builders and advisors in entertainment. And so what we do is we build and help others build companies and products that advance the entertainment industry, primarily those that are technology driven.
Excellent. Speaking of that, you talked about the technology driven, especially if it's music and entertainment like it is here in Nashville, which is really prominent. Talk a little bit about how you got involved with Project Music, and then more specifically how you got involved with the high volume team in our product, KaraoQ.
Sure. So I have been a mentor since my time back in Nashville, almost 3.5 years is when I moved back from most recently Toronto, and got immediately involved in Jumpstart Foundry, which is the first accelerator here in Nashville. It's now transitioned to healthcare, but was general technology at that time, and got involved with them, was a mentor for 3 years. And then certainly through my involvement with the Entrepreneur Center and of course my company's focus on music and entertainment, was extremely excited and bullish about Project Music. So my partners and I got involved immediately, and we're 3 of the so-called core mentors for the program.
And what does that mentor relationship look like when you're coming into Project Music and you're on our board of advisors and you mentored us as well as Porch Group, kind of advising the company. Talk a little bit about what that role means, what's involved with that from your perspective.
So I have, previous to the Entrepreneur Center, served as volunteer as a mentor at a couple of the programs in Chicago and Toronto. What I think is particularly powerful at the EC here is the care they give to coaching and educating mentors on how to be good mentors, and differentiating, to answer your question, between being a coach, a consultant, a mentor, and advisor, being clear. And I think, for me, being a mentor is about asking good questions, being available, making connections, making available resources. And so it isn't to give someone the answer that I presume to be correct, but it's simply to present questions, hopefully to get them thinking about how to solve a problem themselves. It just so happened in the course of MediaWorks this year, one of the teams is Sing and Spell, which is founded and led by Kathy Vangieri, who is the wife of Joe Vangieri, who leads DigiTrax. And so in the conversations you and I have had about content licensing, how to assure that it's a complete solution, and DigiTrax having a tremendous library of karaoke songs that are fully licensed, it was just an obvious thing to get you guys together, and we're delighted that the conversation turned into a partnership. Well, I think one of the things that initially got me excited about what you guys are building with KaraoQ is that the value propositions for venue, for patron, and for DJ KJ are all strong. There's no exploitative tactics in the product or in the business model. Everybody wins, and so as the patron and the performer enjoy more what they're doing, perform, get engaged, really have a great night, the venue wins, the KJ wins. Your revenue model, of course, is KaraoQ, is that everybody participates in the increase in revenue. It is not a zero-sum game. So in short, I think it is, change is always hard, particularly in this industry that we work in. And I think karaoke, as you obviously with the vision of the company have set out, has been ripe to, if not disrupt, then certainly evolve. And so that evolution, there will be people, I'm sure, that are dragged kicking and screaming, but I think progressive venues, progressive KJs, certainly the patrons, it's nothing but upside.
So just briefly talk through, since Project Music, how Back Porch has worked specifically with us in order to help shore up that business model, and also to really ensure that the company itself and the product is aimed at creating that that you talked about.
Sure. So, we have an engagement, a program that we work with startups under. We call it Startup Sprint. So these are 90-day projects, if you will, whereby we look at customers, users, product, and capital, be that revenue or fundraising. And we look at those 4 categories and we define milestones for the end of that 90-day period. Where does the team and the company and the product need to be? What are the ways in which we can measure progress towards those milestones? And ultimately, how do we help with the operation and the accountability to get there? And so, as we have with you and your founders worked a lot on priority setting. You've got a tremendous vision, a great deal of opportunity, but often the challenge is, all right, where do we focus? Sure. Where do we actually double down and make sure that the traction is real, that customers are happy, users are, adopting, and ultimately that we're moving toward revenue. And so, it is a process of setting milestones, putting metrics in place, developing tools, be they to track or to operationalize, modeling the pipeline, understanding as we have developed the lead to live time from the point that a venue or a KJ enters or engages with KaraoQ to the point that they're operating their first night of karaoke. So it's developing those sorts of metrics and measures that really help us stay focused, and ultimately we hope advance you, the team, and your go-to-market.
What would you say are maybe the core key values and takeaways of the KaraoQ 360 product kind of as a whole, and whether it's that they're on the fence or they're completely resistant or they're very receptive? What are the just maybe the couple of key points that you see that are going to be drivers and factors of change for the karaoke industry with what we're doing today?
Sure. Well, I think, pardon me as I wrestle with these allergies, I think it's plainly obvious to anyone that pays attention that mobile is dominant, particularly among millennials, even some folks that are older. It is a part of our daily lives, and so I think karaoke has, for whatever reason, been absent from that shift in large part. There are exceptions. So my point is that I think, if I were being tongue-in-cheek, I might say resistance is futile, but that's not really what I mean. What I mean is everything goes mobile, right? Anything that can will, that's just sort of the progress. Now, it doesn't mean that it's good just because, right? But I think if we focus on the patron, we focus on the performer, we focus on the ultimate customer, what do they want? Sure. So that's the question. And I think if you look at their adoption of technology as a typical consumer, particularly here in the US and most countries, they are voting with their wallets, they're voting with their downloads, they're voting otherwise to do everything that they can on their phones. And so why wouldn't we progress that way with karaoke? And I think the flip side, however, is, all right, what does that do to the experience? You know, is everybody just staring at their phones as opposed to staring up at the stage as they should be and engaged with the performers? But I think KaraoQ addresses that as well. I mean, the very careful design of the app, the very, I think, non-intrusive focus and the way the app, operates is do your thing, get in, get out, perform. It's not, let me just stare at my phone all night.
Sure.
It's, let me use this terrific application to make the experience even better.
Sure.
So, the point is the industry, music and entertainment industries are adopting mobile at tremendous rates. Users and fans are doing the same thing at immense rates. And so it just makes sense. Add to that the venues will benefit, the KJs will benefit, there's more revenue to be generated, new revenue streams to be generated. I'm bullish, as you can tell. You can't improve what you can't measure, is I think, a rule of thumb. And I think the ability to use KaraoQ as a KJ to measure the performance that you deliver, to measure the performance of the venue that you operate in, be it captive or one that you're a mobile KJ, and ultimately to measure the satisfaction and delight of your patrons or performers can only make you better and can only make you more money.
Well, that's all we have here from the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. We're going to go back to the Knoxville Entrepreneur Center, DigiTrax, Sonox Studios for Karaoke Summit 15. I think I'm getting ready to come up on stage, so I've got to drive pretty quick. Back to you in Knoxville.
My name is Danny Lewis. I'm located in Nashville, Tennessee. I am the owner of Karaoke.
So with the product like KaraoQ 360 and KaraoQ, how do you feel will impact your business with the new technology that can be provided?
Having everyone connected, basically. You can go online if you're looking for us or if you're looking for any karaoke show at any given moment. You decide, you go on the app, you can find us. As a host, if you are having a slow night, you do a push notification, and all of a sudden you've got people. So it's been a godsend, just being able to, with this technology that we have, being able to reach so many people at the same time. It's really been a godsend, and being able to use the technology that we have to benefit us, it goes straight into our pockets.
Making more leads available for you guys with new venues through the karaoke app. How do you see that benefiting you as a KJ, being able to use these new channels to grow your own business?
Basically, karaoke hosts have always been a network, a kind of a family. We don't want to step on each other's toes. We want to make sure everybody's got work, because there's enough work to go around with everyone. If people need gigs, having this platform where we're basically all together and we're all looking out for each other. If a venue decides, okay, we want to do karaoke on this day, this night, I may not have something available, whereas another karaoke company may, and we all work together. We're all it creates a network. We're all business partners rather than competition. And the fact that venues see how easy it is to get karaoke and with using you guys and keeping that network alive, people that have never tried to do it before will think, okay, well, this might be good to try, and then all of a sudden we've got everybody working 6 nights a week.
Do you have anything that you want to tell the KJs that might be listening about KaraoQ, KaraoQ 360, and just the whole process? Do you want to say anything specific?
It's a wonderful, wonderful tool, and bringing karaoke into up to speed with the technology. It's just been a wonderful godsend, both financially and for the KJ and for the singer.
Welcome. We're here at a panel discussion. We've got some great karaoke industry executives here. Hal Kenny from Good Sounds Entertainment in Knoxville. We've got Catt Damon, Executive Director of In-Venue Entertainment at his company, which is High Volume Media. Confuse me with all these big words. Joanie Lilly from Joanie's Karaoke and DJ Service in Pittsburgh, PA. Yeah, she's got her terrible
I have
towel.
to represent somebody.
Represent.
Come on.
And lastly, we have Alan Macdonald. He's the Executive Director of Talent Quest National Karaoke Contest. Now let's get started. What are you guys ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Just don't sing on me, okay?
Not yet. Not yet.
All right, guys. What do you think is the current state of the karaoke industry? Where are we?
I think there's a lot of confusion in the industry. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of good information that gets ignored, and there's a lot of misinformation that doesn't get ignored, that people need to do their homework and figure out what's right and what's not right. We need to band together as hosts and enlighten our singers as to what it's a moral thing, it's a legal issue, but it's also a moral thing. We need to enlighten them as to what is the right thing that we're allowed to do. And that's where I am in my market, and I'm sure these guys are the same.
How about you, Catt?
True. I mean, it's one of those things where, somebody wants to come into your bar and they're like, hey, can you play this song? Oh, I don't have it. Can you play it off of YouTube? No, I can't play it off of YouTube.
Why?
Well, there's no way to give anybody any money. There's no way to monetize how it's done, to pay somebody, and it's illegal. I mean, I'll gladly play it off of YouTube if you cut me $1 million check to cover all the fines.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I think it's a great answer. What's your thoughts, Joanie?
I think with Hal, there's a lot of confusion. People are just, they don't realize that what they're doing is wrong, and it's killing the industry. They're killing the food chain completely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we used to be able to get any karaoke. So-and-so has it down the street. Well, I don't know where so-and-so's getting it because it's not available.
Well, and that's one of the challenges that comes about is, and I agree with Hal, the importance of this is really about changing our society. We're adopting a culture that if it's on the internet, it must be free and it must be okay for me to take it. Not thinking about the consequence of none of us would walk into a retail store and say, oh, I like that shirt. I'll just pick that puppy up. Oh, hey, I like that CD or that DVD. I'll just take that home. But yet we see it all the time in the internet culture, and it becomes pervasive to where consumers believe stealing on the internet isn't stealing because you're not getting caught. And that's where I said earlier, we have to be the moral authority to stand true to good values. Alan, what's your thought on karaoke industry?
Ours is the same way, especially with the contest, where we have to explain to the contestants what's legal, what we can and what we can't do. And yes, you can buy a lot of stuff on the internet legally, but to try and bring it to our contest or even to a karaoke venue on a jump drive or on a burned CD, they don't understand that is wrong, that we can't, as an industry, do that.
Well, exactly. What a lot of consumers fail to understand is you can buy karaoke in a retail environment, and that's fine for singing in your shower, singing in your living room, but it's another thing to be on the stage at a national contest or be at a public venue. Different rules apply. So it's part of our job to educate the consumer, because as we educate consumers, two things happen. They respect the music artists. That helps the music artists respect us, and it helps the industry go forward, which also, that's going to help karaoke hosts to actually earn more money.
There's a large difference between using karaoke in your basement for a Saturday night party versus using karaoke in a commercial application. We have a whole different set of rules that we must abide by, where the guy that does it on the weekend in his basement, it's a whole different rule. So we have to maintain what we maintain, and we have to spread the word amongst ourselves. We're all very much compliant in the industry, and we're just trying to get other people to become compliant in our industry, and it helps raises the whole industry up.
Well, that's the thing. A rising tide raises all ships. We're talking a lot about onboarding. People have to get on board. We have to get on board as an industry and understand that people that play karaoke in a basement are hobbyists. They're enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. They're not karaoke hosts. Mm-hmm. A karaoke host is a person that by profession chooses to bring entertainment to a venue to enable singers to come in and perform and have that 3 minutes of sunshine. And their day might have been otherwise terrible. It gives them a great relief, and there's a difference. And when we do that as hosts and represent then the things that we want, which is the revenue streams, will start to come back around. Let's talk a bit about the future, because the industry, heck, the world is changing. I mean, to think that my cell phone today has the same storage space that my first digital system had, where it took 9 hard drives, and I've got all that in my phone, and I can make calls on it and Facebook on it. Technology is making a huge impact.
Absolutely.
What's your guys' thoughts on technology and the future of our industry?
Can I speak?
Absolutely.
First of all, going from laser discs and printing up karaoke books with page protectors and the amount of stuff that you had to carry in and the speakers being huge, and I had a SUV. Now I have everything in a little small compact car. That's not a Prius, but it's a Toyota, actually Scion. Anyway, so it's great in that respect. It's helping us, and we have the availability and the power to get a song quickly. Normally you pull out 4 people's discs ahead of time and have them lined up, and they're, can I change my song? And you're like, okay. Now you go, yeah, play, done. Fantastic.
Your thoughts, Catt?
Well, so, when I started doing karaoke, I was rocking, like you said, the big speakers, all that jazz. But I rocked 2 500 disc carousels. And, once you put those things sideways, you look, all of a sudden you got 14 discs out of place. You're digging through there. 45 minutes later, the show is already rolling. You're like, oh my God, my disc is backwards. But tech is really going to be the thing that brings karaoke back to what it was. Because, you got to figure, karaoke in the 80s got to be a really good staple. People loved doing it, and it brought people together.
I think it still does.
Just like most music does.
Yeah.
Now with tech and with Facebook and Twitter and all this stuff going on, that's just a better way to get your friends to come to the bar, do your karaoke, look through songbooks and all of that great experience that you have doing something you love.
What's your thoughts, Hal?
I think the digital age has helped us and it's hurt us. It's helped us in making our job much easier as a host.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, lugging around the laser disc like myself, and then going to CDs and going through the books and then dropping the CD, and the CD breaks, so you can't play the song, have to get the CD replaced. Now it's on a digital format. Loading in a 30 singer or 40 singer rotation, which is not uncommon. It takes no time to do it, and changes. It makes a show run easier. It makes your rotation quicker. When your rotation is quicker, your singers are happy because they get to sing a lot more. The downside to it is they come in holding a phone and said, hey, can you play the song that I've downloaded off of YouTube? Can you plug it into your computer?
I want to sing this.
I want to sing this song. Well, we have to take the moral high road and go, I'm sorry, I can't play that because I can't play that. And that happens more often than not, and unfortunately, it happens in the younger generation because they've grown up on nothing but the internet. We didn't have the internet when we were in school. Heck, we didn't even have pocket calculators a lot of times. And I'm telling on myself, but that's beside the point.
I remember my first year of college.
We were allowed to have a watch even with a calculator. Anyway, so what's happened is it's created an environment of we want it now. So we have to, we've got a delicate balance where we have to keep the singer happy, but also be compliant. And again, because we're not regulated like the attorneys are and the doctors are and other industries that are heavily regulated.
But we need to be.
But we need to be.
True.
But we do that morally. And we regulate
because
ourselves.
none of us would want the federal government getting involved in our space, would we?
No, we have enough
I think there's enough stuff going on. The last thing I would ever want is for governmental regulations coming. What we have to remember, tech always moves on. When we were spinning laser discs, and we had all our big investment in the laser discs, and then they came out with these CDGs, where this big massive stack could come down to this. What happened? There was some hosts that were going, dang technology,
and the price
ruining the industry. The price is
$150 for 28 songs, 14, or $20 for the same amount of songs.
So what we have to remember is tech is going to continue to move on.
We have to embrace it.
We have to embrace it. Eventually, with the way things are working with the cloud, I think you're going to see a place where we won't even have to carry media. As internet connections become bonded and really fast, every venue will have it, and reliable. You'll just plug in, you'll be licensed. You'll actually come as talent. You won't be bringing a bunch of things with you. You'll be bringing your skills as a host to control the show. Alan, what's your thoughts on
Well,
the
technology
future?
has come a long way, and it's made it easier for the KJ. It really has. Like these guys, carrying in suitcases of music, carrying in your books. I mean, I've spent 2-3 days putting books together. Now with the technology the way it is, you get on your phone, you can dive right into the personal system. Okay, I want to sing that. That goes right into your karaoke queue, and they're ready to go. It's easier for the participants, the people that come to your venue. It's easier for the KJs. Instead of somebody walking up, hey, do you have this song? Do you have this song? No, do you have this song? We spend a lot of time placating them and trying to help them out at the same time. And with this new technology, it makes it so much easier for everybody concerned.
Well, exactly. One of the things that I often wonder is, will karaoke ever become mainstream? Now, during the 80s, as Catt mentioned, karaoke was huge. You couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting a karaoke venue. Today, it's a little bit more thin, and I don't really think that's technology. I think it's because, as hosts, I think many times hosts have become ambivalent to the production value of what they do. Because, let me share a marketing thing I've learned a lot about millennials. We talked about they want it now, they have it on their phone. Well, we can deal with them when we give them what they want, which is what they really want is an experience. So it isn't necessarily always the song, as we want to give them a great experience. When we give the younger audience a great experience, they're not going to care that we didn't play Fire to the Rain. They're not going to care. They're going to go, I had such a great time at Joanie, Hal, Catt's show. That's going to be our difference. What are you guys' thoughts, though, about this new product, KaraoQ?
He uses it, so I'd start.
What do you think, Catt?
Go ahead, Catt.
I love karaoke. I mean, it's just one of those things where you get stupid simple. I mean, it's one of those, you just look, somebody grabs their phone, they sign up, hit enter. You don't say a word to them. The only time you talk to them is when they come on the stage. But don't let that be the hindrance for the product. You can still interact with the people. It just helps you save time on dealing with them going, do you have this song? Do you have that song? No, I don't. It cuts that straight out. So it's just from you to me and you to the stage. So I can concentrate on your vocals, your sound, and what the crowd is looking forward to hear after you sing or while you're singing.
I have a question.
Answer.
Is it possible that, because I work a lot of college bars, is it possible that kids would be like, I'm signing up my buddy Dave, and send you Dave's request, and Dave's singing like a virgin but doesn't know? Do you get that?
Yes, I've gotten that.
See, that's what I'm afraid of.
Well, see, why? That'd be totally
right.
That would add to the experience, because people be spoofing who. Say, for example, I know you want to sing, and I know Hal wants to sing, and I know you want to sing really bad, and Catt's my friend, and he goes, I'm going to make her wait. So he starts moving Hal's song up, bidding it up, and you're going, what's going on here? I'm sitting back. To me, the real untapped gold in this is when they sign up, you're going to create connections, which is going to give you a singer attendee accessibility that you're now building a following for your show.
Oh, yeah.
So now if you move to venue A, you go to venue B or venue A and you say, I've got a following of 5,000 people in my singers database. You want to hire my service because I will most likely bring this audience over to you. That's huge. I think it's an untapped understanding.
Venues are looking at the bottom line.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys think? Because we've talked a lot about. I made a big call to action. What do you guys think about that? What can karaoke hosts do right now today, to shift our industry? Because we need a quantum, global, 12.0 earthquake shift.
Start an active conversation. Take everything you know and start over again. And start asking questions and start trying to relearn what you think you know. You probably know a lot, but start asking questions. Don't just suppose. And you can reach out to any one of us. And I want to segue into something real quick. Joanie and I are starting a YouTube channel that's going to kick off within the next 10 days. Production has been, we're trying to get there. It's going to be a YouTube channel called Karaoke Q&A, and it's going to be available on a YouTube stream. And you can also we're going to talk every week about a different subject about the industry from the KJ standpoint. Yeah, and we're going to help
questions
and you'll be able to, exactly. You'll be able to send in questions. Our email address is KaraokeQ and then the letter NA@gmail.com. And you can go ahead and start sending questions in now. And we're going to be talking, like I said, different subjects about performance, about product, about new products. We're going to do a review on KaraoQ. We're going to do some other things and talk about software and if you've got an issue in the industry. So wanted to throw a quick plug in for that.
Anything you want us to address.
Exactly.
Catt, what's your thoughts? What can karaoke hosts out there today do today, this next week, to make an impact in our industry?
You know what? Well, you know, like Hal did say, you know, we all do need to get together and open a discussion. I mean, because this industry, it's something, it's not going anywhere. As long as strong KJs stay solid and we all learn the tricks of the trade that we need to know and train our baby DJs that are coming up to do what we do, the way we do it, and with as much passion as we do have for this industry. I mean, because you got to figure, we live karaoke. It's what we do. It's how we feed our families.
This is our living.
Full-time jobs.
It's not, you know,
This is
something
not
we
a
do on the
hobby job.
weekend.
No,
Yeah, this
I
is
mean,
not a hobby job.
I'm not sitting in my basement banging it out like you were saying earlier. I mean, this is what I do. I'm a resident at a bar.
Right.
It's what I do.
What's your thoughts, Joanie?
You know, I was thinking what you were saying earlier, and the whole karaoke queue thing and the karaoke cloud. I think with the technology, the way that it's going, wouldn't it be wonderful if the customer can, like, say they want something that you don't even want to have in your library, and they want to sing it. If they are able to buy it on the cloud or another legal site, and you're able to, since you're streaming it anyway, if you can stream from theirs and play it, I mean, there's
In the realm of possibility, you know, the one thing that I'm kind of excited about is to get KJs connected with this contest, because imagine if we had a national karaoke contest. Alan is the originator of the first American-based World Karaoke Contest. Imagine if we had that an event at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, and the audience has 4,000 karaoke hosts and karaoke singers. This becomes a powerful message to consumers that karaoke is viable. You know, tell us a bit about what your thoughts are going forward with the contest, because hearing about it today was news to me.
All right, well, we just bought the contest 3 years ago. I've been part of it since 2003. It's been going since 2000. We keep making changes to it, and our biggest change that we're trying to get is to the KJs and the venues. The biggest thing that we're having problems with is making sure that we find KJs that are legal. It's in part of our contract that they have, you know, they tell us that they are legal. We don't know if they are. We can't drive from Oklahoma to Pennsylvania or Oklahoma to California every day to check it out, but we do have people that will go around. But our biggest thing is we want to get everybody on the same page. We want to get everybody legal out there. So when somebody goes to their venue and sings a song, I know it's available that they can sing it at our contest. We're trying to get all the venues together. We're going to start a new, like you guys, we're going to do a pilot program, a pilot show on a reality TV show.
Cool.
And we will be going around the countryside, and we want all the bars. We want the bars with the big stages. We want the bars with the little corner stage, because that's reality.
So this would be karaoke hosts of Beverly Hills?
Pretty much, yeah. But that's what karaoke is. You know, we want to see the karaoke across the country.
Well, I think it's an excellent thing, you know, and getting to your point of legal hosts, that's one of the goals that Phoenix Entertainment Project Partners and DigiTrax Entertainment and the American Karaoke Host have in common, is the desire to create a compendium of legitimately vetted, verified legal hosts, so venues wanting a definite legal host can get one, and that people wanting to sing can know this is a legal venue that is using legal hosts. And we think these things are going to be the great mechanisms to do it. This has been a great panel discussion. Wish I could talk.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys participating. But right now, I'm going to throw it back to the room.
KaraoQ, revolutionizing the karaoke experience. Searching through an old dirty catalog of music in a loud, dark bar can be frustrating and confusing. This song might not be available anymore, ultimately distracting the DJ from his work. KaraoQ allows users to quickly sign up and then browse a digital library of up-to-date available songs. It even puts the user directly into the queue with the touch of a button. This saves the DJ time and puts the attention back to the music, providing the best experience for the audience. With KaraoQ, the user will know without a doubt when it's their time to sing. A push notification will be delivered directly to their phone when it's their turn to rock out. And with KaraoQ, the DJ no longer has to hope for cash tips. Patrons can tip the DJ directly with the app and even bump themselves or their friends up in the queue to sing sooner. Everyone at the venue with the KaraoQ app can also link their profile with other social networks, making your venue a truly social music experience. The app allows businesses to send push notifications for drink specials, events, and loyalty incentive programs to patrons in the bar as well as users who follow the venue in the app. With a streamlined karaoke process, patrons as well as DJs will have a better experience, creating relationships, moments, memories, and excitement. With music and technology like never before, KaraoQ, revolutionizing the karaoke experience.
Live.
Welcome back to Karaoke Summit 15. Gives me great pleasure to introduce our next presenter, personal friend of mine, Kurt Slep, CEO of Phoenix Entertainment Partners. Kurt, tell us about what you got going on.
Thank you, Drax. Well, most of you out there probably are more familiar with myself in my role with my previous company, Slep Entertainment, which was the parent company, founder, originator of the Sound Choice brand of karaoke products. Phoenix Entertainment, which I own along with some other partners, was recently formed, and the goal of Phoenix was really to be able to bring on some additional help, resources, etc., to advance our program process and to help rebuild our part of the karaoke industry as music production. I have a limited amount of time to speak today, so I would like to reference a couple of our websites where you can get a lot more detail. I can only touch on some topics today, but all the information, all the details are there on our websites. If you would go to www.pep.rocks. Pep Rocks. All our programs or information of the links there for your information, for training. And we also ask you, if you're a Facebook fan, to go ahead and follow us on Facebook. That's Facebook and Sound Choice. For your trivia buffs, we often update almost daily a little bit of trivia information on songs, the history of the songs that we do have available in the catalog. And for Twitter followers, we have a feed there at SC Karaoke, if you want to keep up with that. As I mentioned, the Sound Choice brand has been around for over 30 years. We're definitely one of the grandfathers in the karaoke industry. And we know the importance of the brand to you hosts out there. And for those who are confused, may not know what they can do legally, correctly, etc., the information we do have is available on our site, some backup. And you may hear from your buddy, your friend, or something you read off the internet, confusing information. So again, go to the source. We're the owner of the brand, and we have programs that are there to help you. And if you aren't quite legitimate, you're not quite sure, please see the information. Next slide, Todd. I'm giving you links here again because there's so much information I can't quite cover it. But some of the options and ways to get legitimate, according to us, is you can license the GEM series. The GEM series is 6,000 songs already in the format that you guys want. It's not on CDG, it's MP3 plus G on a data disk. 6,000 of the top songs. Many of our licensees report that they're able to roll the entire show, meet all the requests they want with that, and maybe a few updated songs, which they get from companies that are able to right now put out more recent current hits. The other option is for those who may be just getting into the business, don't have the money to get into, maybe committing to license the GEM set, which retails at like $6,000, is we call the HELP license, HELP, hassle-free, easy licensing program. Now again, the details are on the site, but basically you have access to up to 16,500 songs that we've previously been out in the marketplace. Many of you have those songs on your system, and if you're not legitimate, this is an easy way to get legitimate. We've got various promotions going on, but roughly between $130 and $190 a month is what it would cost to have access to all this music. In a way, it's like a subscription program. The advantage of the GEM series, although it's a licensed product, is that once you pay for the license, the renewal fees are very minuscule, almost nothing after 5 years. So in essence, you have a physical product. You are allowed to shift that to your computer. And one of the primary benefits, if you decide to get in the industry, is you can resell your licensed GEM sets. There's a process to go through. But your business, 5 years, let's say, you made $200,000 as a KJ, you want to get out, you can then relicense that on to and get all your money back. As in most programs with subscription, the help license, you continue to pay, but you have nothing left at the end when you quit the subscription. The other option for our long-time fans who've been in business a long time or maybe getting into it and we're lucky enough to find some original discs is we have what we call our certified program. Now, the only official product that we sell and make available is on disc, the GEM series or our old CDGs, which are no longer being produced. But there are some out there in recirculation, resales. Some dealers still have original files available. The certification program, you would contact us, you notify us that you would like to shift the product from your CDGs to your computer. We would then go through an audit and we would certify that you are in compliance. You have a song on your disc for every song on your computer. So for those lucky few, I would say, that may have one of the maybe 4,000 or 5,000 discs that have been produced for certain titles, you go through the certification program. And then finally, of course, we have the product that we actually sold, and that is original disc users. There are a few of you out there, and really, that's the best product because the highest audio quality. So those are the various programs that we have to be legitimate with our products. Now, what are some of the benefits? As you see, we have technical marketing support. You've heard some previous speakers. There's a lot of confusion. People have to rethink the whole process. What do you do now? What's going forward? As Mr. Kinney mentioned. So my employees have 20 plus years in the business. I've been there 30 years. We have that support for you. And we kind of have a family among the people that are presenting today. We all share and help each other out. So you get that support. The promotion of your business on your website. Again, you've heard that Alan mentioned that he's looking for venues and hosts to participate that are fully legitimate. If you're certified licensee, you get listed on our website, and it's a good resource and marketing promotion for you. Then also for hosts, we have what we call our Safe Harbor program. That's geared toward the venues, and it helps them understand why they need to pay you more because you have higher costs. So that's a support factor for you. And that's at scsafeharbor.com. And lastly, we are intending to release new product. We want to get out there, but we want to have a valid feel for who's going to purchase the product. We don't want to go in the hole. We want to make sure we have good supporters and purchase the product. So our response to our supporters is to limit the distribution of those songs to one of the 4 categories. Like I said, a GEM licensee, help licensee, original disc user, or a certified host. That way you maintain the value and the difference between your operation and maybe somebody who's not operating legitimately. So we want to make sure you have you're the cream of the cream, the hot new songs that once we get back to producing. And like I said, the tracks at this point are not intended to release to the general public. Under the new karaoke tracks, we have the advanced program. Again, please go to the website. You'll see what that is. Basically, you would submit a $30 kind of a fundraising for us to help produce. The details are that. That is only available to licensed hosts. Again, the 4 categories that we have. Please go to the website. And one big piece of news that we have today, all of you know about some of our efforts to support our karaoke hosts and help reduce the unfair competition in the marketplace, is that, Todd, go next slide. Phoenix Entertainment is adding to our portfolio of assets the Chartbuster brand. So along with owning the Sound Choice brand, we will now own the Chartbuster brand. Some of the first questions coming up may be, will you release new songs under that brand? The answer is no. The Chartbuster brand has some specific unique products in niche markets and specialty products that we think we can release profitably in. So we will focus any Chartbuster brand sales to those specialty products. The current Sound Choice, DigiTrax with the cloud and all, they will have songs available to meet the current new song release demand. So we're not going to get into releasing Chartbuster under that. Finally, you've heard all of this talk among everybody, kind of being very inclusive. And this next slide shows the SS Karaoke. We are trying to relaunch, rebuild the industry and the business. And we welcome you to get on board with us. Those on the fence, those who aren't supporting us equally, these two companies, Phoenix Entertainment and DigiTrax, have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in this industry. Some of you have invested quite a bit, and some of you not quite so much. But for us to all succeed, to move forward, we need your investment and support us. So, welcome you aboard, thanks, and look forward to the year.
As Sarah said, I am the Project Music Program Director here at the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. My background is in the music industry. I spent about 20 plus years working over at Sony Music with that guy from earlier today that you heard from, Joe Galante, and left that. And then I went to Cumulus Media for a little while, helped launch their morning show, America's Morning Show, hosted by Blair Garner. And then I came over to the Nashville Entrepreneur Center and didn't even know that they were going to start focusing on music. I just wanted to start sharing some of my knowledge that I had gleaned in all those years working in the music industry and start mentoring here at the EC. And it was probably about a year ago now, came in, did the meeting, went through the mentor training, and they said, oh yeah, and we're doing this thing called Project Music. Do you have any interest in getting involved? Because at that point, they didn't have anybody from a day-to-day level working with the program to do introductions, get mentors involved, and set up the industry-based curriculum. So I signed on and did that, fell in love with it, fell in love with those crazy 8 startups and folks like Michael and Brittany that were going through the program, and wanted to keep doing more of it. So convinced, literally did an investable pitch deck for the idea of having year-round support here at the EC for music-minded entrepreneurs that are building music-driven startups. And so they brought me on board full-time, and so now I'm running all of the EC's efforts related to connecting with the music industry and helping music startups. What I saw was a group of very passionate people. The application that KaraoQ submitted, it included the key founders, which are Michael, Randy, and also Catt, and just watching their passion really exude. One of the parts of the application is a video introducing your concept, but then another one introducing your team. And it was very clear that these guys were highly passionate about what they were trying to do, and they were really functioning in a space that we couldn't find where anybody else was in. And KaraoQ looked like a real opportunity to help generate revenue for the music industry and not necessarily take a piece of the pie from somebody else in the industry, but really to make that pie bigger.
How do you feel that they have grown as a company?
Wow, how have they grown as a company? I think during Project Music, it was, going through that accelerator process was a little intense. I think, if I remember correctly, there were some staff changes. We were always beating them up about the pitch and doing customer development, the things that you beat people up over in the accelerators. I literally beat them up most of the time. But coming out of the program, there was a clear sense of purpose for the company and the strategic partnerships that they needed to create. Project Music is competitive in nature because you have 8 startups working side by side, talking to some of the same investors, but they were very much a family, and so still competitive at the same time. And one of the ways that KaraoQ has really stood out is they still continue to bootstrap for the most part in what they're doing. They don't have millions of dollars of investment, but they are overcoming that with the strategic partnerships that they're creating, like the relationship with DigiTrax, which is why we're all here today, is that unique relationship between 2 companies in 2 different cities coming out of entrepreneur communities and the uniqueness of that. But even on that level, there are relationships with other startups and other entrepreneurs. They've been able to attract attention of major labels, work with like a Universal Music Group, who was one of the investors in Project Music, but also proving and showing to them that there are viable things that can be done in a karaoke platform.
What do you feel like karaoke's brought back to Project Music?
Well, we have this banner here that we're showing to everybody today about the Entrepreneur Center, but Michael himself especially is always has been a strong advocate and a strong voice for the program. And we can always count on him when it comes to different panels and things. A couple weeks ago, Michael, along with some of the other teams, spoke on a panel to a bunch of college kids from across the country. So always being on the ready to talk about the program, talk about the Entrepreneur Center and the experience, and bring us along for the ride. So,
right.
And we are the accelerator that technically never ends.
So, if someone were wanting to apply, when is the deadline?
Right now. Let's see. Applications, you can go to projectmusic.co, so just projectmusic.co. There's a link up there to the application, which lives in F6S. And the applications close November 6th, so right around the corner.
Very soon.
Whatever you do, don't wait until the night before to look at it. It's quite an involved process. It's the first step to really understanding, are you an entrepreneur that can see something through and accomplish it?
So as Heather mentioned, I'm Adam Zink. I'm over at Warner Music Nashville. Warner being one of the three major labels here in the US, so I guess globally as well, and Nashville being one of the three offices we have here in the US, New York, LA, Nashville. So for the Nashville roster here, we focus mainly in the country and the Christian genre. And I oversee all the digital marketing and video promotion strategy. So, the digital side of things encompasses quite a bit.
So what exactly is your involvement with KaraoQ? And how did that come together?
So as we got kicked off, there were a few companies that I was very intrigued with, I suppose. In talking with some of the other mentors, we would kind of chat, and I would mention a few that I was really excited about. KaraoQ was one of them. Mainly because I realized I had a lot to learn about the karaoke industry. Mm-hmm. I am not a fan of singing karaoke, sober anyway, so I just didn't know much about it. And learning about the size of the industry was really interesting to me. So personally, I just thought, there really is a problem to be solved here. Mm-hmm. And I just really thought that Michael and the team were on. I think that as you know, that's the challenge here with Project Music is sometimes you've got a great product, sometimes you've got a great entrepreneur, they don't always match up. And in this case, I was excited about the team that Michael put together, and I really had that moment of like, why has no one done this before? Mm-hmm. I don't really know where they fall on the spectrum, but I feel like the person that sings a song in a karaoke bar or a karaoke club is probably closer on the side of highly engaged.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
They're engaged with the song. Doesn't necessarily mean they're engaged with the artist.
Sure, but that's okay. That's a really good first step.
Right.
So to me, it's really interesting to have data on those people. Mm-hmm. We know that they're highly engaged, or more so engaged, than a radio listener. They've at least showed some intent to say, I want to get up and embarrass myself with the song. And honestly,
what is it? Imitation is the highest form of flattery, right? So I'm going to imitate Bon Jovi right now.
And yes, and honestly, that song, coming through the speakers at a karaoke club, whether it be good or bad, is an impression, right? If there are 50 people or 1,000 people there that are hearing it, they're hearing the song the same they would if it was on the radio, right? And maybe they'll say, what's that song? I like that song, and go check it out, which is really the goal for something like that. Just getting people to hear our music more. And really, and the music industry loves charts. Oh, and that's something I keep coming back to with Michael. It's like, as soon as you put a chart in front of the three major labels about the most, the songs being sung the most in karaoke, it's going to get very competitive. Yes. And so that's going to be really interesting.
Joe, if you have a song, say you've got a Hunter Hayes song, and it shows up on that chart, but you haven't actually released the masters for karaoke, how are they getting out there? And then does that at least point out to you as a label that, oh, here's a revenue stream that we're missing?
Right. And I wonder too, I feel like karaoke is going to very much follow radio or top 40. There has to be familiarity for the most part, if it's not just a catalog song that you love to sing.
Right.
So I don't really know, unless we could be very intentional with, we're gonna promote the heck out of this new song within the app, and it's a song that maybe nobody's heard before. Could we ever get to a place where we're seeing a song pop before we go to radio? And I don't know the answer to that, but those are the interesting questions that we're asking now.
But even, getting a song programmed in between, so if there's a gap when you've got two people
Switching, yeah.
coming up to sing or something, and you get something new plugged into those, that's a whole other opportunity out there that you didn't have before, because it wasn't as organized as what it is now with KaraoQ in the marketplace.
And we saw the movement with social, just from an advertising perspective, we saw the movement with social as well, where you could be very targeted and timely.
Right.
And this is a great example of, someone sings a Blake Shelton song, and immediately on their phone, they're being served hey, a video from Blake. Thanks for singing my song. Would love for you to come out to the show. Like, here's it could be a contest for a ticket, or it can be a discount code, or it could just be a straight advertisement for the song. That, for KaraoQ, is going to be something they can monetize, probably in a pretty effective way because it's so targeted.
Correct.
And that's intriguing for me. I would pay for that, because we know that it's a consumer that's interested, or maybe it's an ad that runs over the PA in the club after the song, with the actual master audio, and hey, new album available, something like that. So there's definitely advertising opportunity. The other thing that our team is always looking at are just creative campaigns. Like I mentioned, the Spotify campaign. What can we do with these guys that we could, write up a press release about? And it's just, we get into a match of like who can do the coolest thing first, or the next coolest thing.
Yeah, you guys are getting to do them now.
We're trying.
How are we all doing? We're having a great time. This has been an amazing, amazing time. Our next presenter is going to really blow it open with some very cool things. It's Michael Ambergay. But guess what? I was having trouble with how to do his name. He's Ambergay. Ambergay. See, there you go. And he just told me, don't worry about it. It's Ukrainian for sexy beast. So I'm just going to give you Ambergay, the sexy beast.
Thank you so much, Dr. Drax. My name is Michael Ambergay. I'm the CEO and co-founder of High Volume Media Company. And we're super humbled and super blessed and honored to be a part of the Karaoke Summit 15 today. We've heard from an incredible line of speakers that have spoke to the industry has been, where it is today, and where it's headed. And I think speaking to that, they hit on it in the DJ panel. It's all about the experience. Millennials are gearing more and more towards taking it from material objects to caring more about the experience and the moments and the memories and the relationships. And as you may know, karaoke for some, it's a dream of stardom. For 3 minutes on stage, a mother of four can feel like Madonna. For others, it's an escape from the reality. Accountants in those 3 minutes feel like superstars. For others, well, they've got their own motivations. But no matter what the motivation is, they just want to know when it's their chance to sing. They want to know when it's their time to shine. Tom Petty said it best. The waiting is the hardest part. But there's a really big problem in the karaoke industry today. With the shift from paper and pen to mobile, we have to really grasp that, because today the song selection process requires an old, outdated printed songbook. One of our KJs in the Midwest, Sound Advice, said that the songbook is an exhaustive expense for the KJ. And you heard earlier from Danny Lewis at Tsunami Karaoke that echoed those comments. Likewise, for the patron or performer, it requires them to rely on paper and pen to sign up for their song. They then manually walk it up to the KJ, and then they have to wait in the queue. All of this causes frustration for the patron or the performer. And as the night goes on, those people have left, and the KJ spends more time calling out those names of people than actually playing music. Ultimately, this kills the vibe in the venue. There's a solution. The KaraoQ app is free on Google Play and the App Store. It allows patrons to easily download the app for free, connect with their favorite social profile, browse a digitized songbook, and then instantly hit the queue. And when we talk about the millennials today, just like they have with Uber, Spotify, Pandora, and Netflix, it's all about the on-demand experiences. So with that bump button, they have the ability to now move themselves up the queue or anyone else in the queue. It's the on-demand personalization that millennials want today. For the venue, it becomes a patron engagement platform. It allows the venue to track the patrons. How many times they check in? How often are they coming back? How long are they staying? What are their behavioral patterns when they're there? How are they spending money? What songs do they perform? All of those become valuable marketing assets for the venue, ultimately creating a captive marketing channel. For DJs, it's a queue experience platform. They not only now have the integration directly with our sync tool, but they can also dynamically control the queue through our web platform. They also have push notifications. So as a patron checks into the venue and follows the venue or the DJ, they can directly market directly back to those patrons and performers, whether they're there at the venue or they're sitting at home on their couch and ready to come back out for a night of fun. They can also track those tips and those bumps by hour, day, week, or month to really gain insight on their patrons. Now, when we talk about the integration that we've created, first off, KaraoQ is really focused on the tight partnership with Karaoke Cloud Pro. Because it's the largest fully legal, fully licensed karaoke content system, it allows us to give venues the assurance and the peace of mind that they're serving up legal content. And with the in-house studio they have here in Knoxville and the content curation process that they go through, it affords them the ability to give venues high-definition motion background videos to truly elevate the experience. Now for PC DJ, they're the other big focus. Because as some have even pointed out on the chat room today, the integration and the automation and to not add steps to the process is crucial for a KJ. That's why through our sync platform, we've now integrated directly with PC DJ Karaoke, allowing a patron to check in, request a song, and instantly hit the DJ software, so it becomes a very automated, integrated, fully legal, fully licensed process for the KJ or the venue. Ultimately, for PC DJ, for Karaoke Cloud Pro, and for KaraoQ, we have then created KaraoQ 360. It is the first fully integrated, fully licensed, 360-degree solution to upgrade any karaoke experience into a truly social music experience. Now, what does that afford you? In addition to the integration to the patron engagement platform and to the legal content, there are two new exclusive opportunities that become a part of this. First off, for artists and beverage companies, we're already in discussions with major labels and major liquor brands to create very tight synergies. So as you go on stage and you sing a Kenny Chesney song, you can instantly be promoted to get a Blue Chair Bay Rum, one of Kenny Chesney's line of drinks. This creates a wide access to a variety of new promotions. It also creates artist-driven content that helps elevate the experience at any venue and any night of karaoke. Now we also have Venue Queue, and for the venues this is especially important. Venue Queue allows any patron or performer to walk into the venue and instantly see on a TV screen who is singing, where they're at in line, and what they're singing. It instantly shows them how to download the app and where to go get it. In addition to that, they can set special promotional messages and banner ads. This creates a captive marketing tool, and we have already seen through our research and our tracking, this accelerates user downloads 5 to 7 times in a venue per night. So for KJs, this basically allows them to promote and market directly to their patrons all through the mobile app. Using syncing technology, Karaoke and KaraoQ also become fully integrated. No cash, it's no problem. New revenue streams with mobile pay. So as people come to the venue and they want to be able to tip, but all they've got is cards, it's no worry. They can actually use the app now and pay through Apple Pay, Google Wallet, PayPal, Venmo, or even a scanned credit card. And they can set those default payment methods for convenience. Ultimately, that allows the KJ to get new insight and new analytics about patron behavior, so they can understand when they're coming back and how they're interacting in the venue. For venues, it allows you to promote, track, and incentivize patrons. They can offer drink specials and promotions. They also have a captive audience for marketing with VenueQ to allow targeted messaging while they're there in the venue experiencing their night of karaoke. And you know what? They have no worries. It's fully legal, it's fully licensed, and it's fully integrated. In addition to that, we're giving the KJs and the venues brand new analytics and reporting that give new insight that they've never had before, not just about their nights of karaoke, but to their patrons overall. So today you can sign up at KaraoQ360.com, fill out the simple form. You'll be directed to us. We'll be able to handle your account directly, and we're going to help you elevate your karaoke night into a truly social music experience. I'd like to bring back in Joe Vangieri. Joe?
Michael, thank you.
Absolutely.
That was great. It was a really great summit. I really want to thank you for watching. And in summation, we've had a lot of really big things happen today. First, we've launched now our karaoke HD tracks, and you can pick up. We've got some great summit specials going on right now. We have integration now with KaraoQ into PC DJ Karaoke with the Karaoke Cloud, ergo the name KaraoQ 360, because it's kind of hard to keep saying all three brands over and over again.
That's right.
Some amazing stuff has happened with the brands. Our biz dev guru is probably one of the tops in the industry, Edward Bruno. He's secured deals for this coming Winter NAMM, which is the National Association of Music Merchandisers, and we're going to be in the booth with PV Electronics, with Newmark, and Samson offering our new initiative. So, and then right after that, we roll into several DJ conferences, and then nightclub and bar.
And we'll also be unveiling KaraoQ version 2.
Yeah, so that's great. I mean, so the KaraoQ version 2 is truly all that. And right now, with our minimum viable product right now, this is a big term, and it's MVP, and that's when you go through these economic incubators where they take entrepreneurs like ourselves and actually corral us into the actual education. Right. And you know, what is it? What makes the business? And you know, we've heard from Joy O'Shell, we've heard from Heather McBee, we've heard from Joe Galante, Scott McWhorter, and right now, what we're really excited about is the ability to take, and this is a big Karaoke Summit announcement, and you'll see this in the latter part of this year and early next year, where we're going to have artists, original music karaoke. You know, Taylor Swift has been leading the way. Big Machine Records have, you know, they've thrown their hat into that ring, and they're going for it. And we're talking with several major record labels about handling their original music karaoke, which really is going to shake things up. So I'm pretty excited about it. You got a phone on you by any chance?
I don't actually.
Chris, you got your phone on you? Let's see. Let me see. You got KaraoQ on here? Here, put that up. Mikey. So, you know, a lot of people have worked on the show, you know, Olivia Vangieri, you know, my daughter, Todd Carter, oh my God, there's too many people to mention, the entire staff here.
Incredible team.
It's a really, guys, I mean, you know, you hear this term a lot, but, you know, heartfelt, you know, it humbles me to be around such great talent, and it's really amazing. So, let's end this, what are we doing, Mikey?
I don't know, what song do you want to do? I got karaoke pulled up.
Let's go with a little Neil Diamond, I think.
All right, got it. It's in the queue. Well,
it's in the queue?
We're pretty far down the queue, Joe.
Oh, Mike, bump me up.
Let me bump you, Joe.
Come on, bump me, baby.
We're next. You ready?
We're next, yeah. Ready to sing. Come on, staff. We're gonna bring the whole staff in here. Come on. Hit it, Mikey.
I get the back.
Where it begins, I can't begin to know it, but then I know it's going strong.
Everybody should.
Where am I? Wave.
It was the spring.
Come on, Catt, get in here.
In summer.
Catt, get in there.
Who would believe you come along?
Get down. Come here. Come on, Catt.
Hands, touching hands, greeting
This is for you, Alan.
Touching you.
Get it.
Sweet Caroline, bum, bum, bum. Good times never seem so good. So good, so good, so good. I'm being fine. Bum, bum, bum.
Thank you for coming.
Karaoke Summit.
KaraoQ360.com.
And it don't seem so lonely.
KaraoQ, revolutionizing the karaoke experience. Searching through an old dirty catalog of music in a loud, dark bar can be frustrating and confusing. This song might not be available anymore, ultimately distracting the DJ from his work. KaraoQ allows users to quickly sign up and then browse a digital library of up-to-date, available songs. It even puts the user directly into the queue with the touch of a button. This saves the DJ time and puts the attention back to the music, providing the best experience for the audience. With KaraoQ, the user will know without a doubt when it's their time to sing. A push notification will be delivered directly to their phone when it's their turn to rock out. And with KaraoQ, the DJ no longer has to hope for cash tips. Patrons can tip the DJ directly with the app and even bump themselves or their friends up in the queue to sing sooner. Everyone at the venue with the KaraoQ app can also link their profile with other social networks, making your venue a truly social music experience. The app allows businesses to send push notifications for drink specials, events, and loyalty incentive programs to patrons in the bar as well as users who follow the venue in the app. With a streamlined karaoke process, patrons as well as DJs will have a better experience, creating relationships, moments, memories, and excitement. With music and technology like never before, KaraoQ, revolutionizing the karaoke experience.